Children, I'm Romai's science teacher for class 7. Nice to meet you all through this online platform. I hope all are safe at home and enjoying your long-term holiday with your family. Okay, let us prevent ourselves from coronavirus. As we all know, prevention is better than cure. So how do we prevent ourselves from coronavirus? Just follow the instructions and safety measures given by our government. Let us cooperate with government and let us eradicate this virus from the world. Here you have few suggested safety measures for COVID-19 by our government. Let us all follow them wisely and make ourselves free from coronavirus. Now let us enter into our first chapter of class 7 science, nutrition in plants. This chapter is very interesting and very easy chapter to learn. Do plants go on diet? Do they have to bother about the kind of nutrition that they are taking? If you have ever wondered about how nutrition in plants occur, then you are at the right place. So children, now let us dive into extract more information about this. First of all, let us discuss why do we need food? All living organisms such as plants and animals require food. But what do the food have? The food have all essential components required for our body like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals are essential components of food. These components are called nutrients. Why do the living things need food? That is nutrients. All organisms need food to obtain energy, obtain material for growth, obtain material for repair of damaged body parts and to carry out the life process. So every living organism needs some kind of energy and nutrient materials to ensure that the life process goes on smoothly. Moreover, this energy requirement is got from the food. You can understand this better in animals and human beings as you see it on a daily basis. You very well know what happens if you skip breakfast or lunch. But what about plants? Do they also require any nutrients? So let us have a look over it. How do these nutrients enter into our body? That's our next question. The essential nutrients needed for our body is obtained by the process called nutrition. So, the process of utilization of food by living organism to obtain energy is called nutrition. Plants are also living things that need some form of energy. They have cells and tissues. They also grow in size too. And they are the producers of the ecosystem. So, in order to synthesize food, they do have nutrients requirement. Of course, the kind of nutrients requirement varies. As said, the plants acquire nutrients by different types. The two major modes of nutrition for plants are autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Now let us discuss about the differentiation between the autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. The plants which are able of making their own food with the help of a sunlight and chlorophyll, they are called as autotrophs. And organism as well as the plants which are not able to make their own food and they are going to obtain energy from out sources, they comes under the category of heterotrophs. The examples of autotrophs, we have all green plants, and for the examples of heterotrophs, we have all non-green plants like fungi and others comes under these categories. Now let us learn about autotrophic nutrition. The word auto means self, trophic means nutrition. The exact meaning of this word is self nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is a process in which the organism produces their own food from the simple inorganic materials such as water, carbon dioxide, and mineral salts. So, due to this reason, this type of nutrition in plants are called as autotrophic mode of nutrition. It means that plants have the special ability to make their own food with the help of the simple inorganic substances to harvest organic substances. They get the energy sources from non living things like sun and carbon dioxide. The plants also contain chlorophyll in them, the green color pigment. With the help of these above elements, plants can yield simple carbohydrates. The carbohydrates thus made are utilized by the plant and gives its energy. When there is surplus of carbohydrates in the plants, then it is stored as a backup for later use. During the process of photosynthesis, first, absorption of sunlight energy by chlorophyll. Second, conversion of light energy into chemical energy and splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen by light energy. Third, reduction of carbon dioxide by hydrogen to form carbohydrate like glucose by utilizing the chemical energy. So, the necessary condition for photosynthesis are sunlight, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide, and water. And the raw materials needed for photosynthesis are carbon dioxide and water. First thing, how do the plants obtain carbon dioxide? There are large number of tiny pores called stomata on the surface of the leaves of plant. The carbon dioxide gas enters the leaves of the plant through the stomata present on their surface. Each stomatal pore is surrounded by a pair of guard cells. The opening and closing of stomatal pores is controlled by the guard cells. Children, can you see the leaf in this picture? The surface of the leaf has very small opening, the tiny opening. So this tiny spores is called as stomata. The singular of stomata is called as stoma. Each stoma is bounded by two half-moon shaped guard cells. The guard cells regulate the opening and closing of the stomata. Now let's see the exchange process, that is gas exchange process, how it is happening in the stomata. When there is enough light and water, the guard cell swells up and curve away from each other, thus opening the stoma. This allows the carbon dioxide to enter the cells of the leaf. So, light, water and carbon dioxide all affect the opening and closing of stomata. These stomata are usually open during the day and close at night. Can you see the picture? The next slide you may see the picture. When stomata closes, the less carbon dioxide can enter and less H2O can escape. Now we are going to learn another term called transpiration. Can you see the transpiration? You have seen the small droplets of water on the leaf, right? So transpiration is process where the water is lost through the leaf. When plants lose water vapor through stomata, this is called transpiration. So like how it sweats for us, the same process. There is small tiny pores are also seen in our skin. The same way the leaf spores, through the leaf spores, that is stomata, the water is being given out. So this process is called transpiration. Children, can you see the diagram of stomata here? So there are two diagrams of stomata is given. The first diagram is for opening of a stomata. The second diagram is close of a stomata. So how does the opening happens? It all because when there is enough of water and light enters, the guard cell swells and it opens. Here after the transpiration, the water has been given out by the plants through these tiny spores. So as there is lack of water, the swelling is closed. The opening has been closed here. So this is opening of a stomata. First diagram is for opening of a stomata. Second diagram is closing of a stomata. Next, let us see how the plants obtain water for photosynthesis. The water required by the plants for photosynthesis is absorbed by the roots of the plant from the soil through the process of osmosis. The water absorbed by the roots of the plant is transported upward through the xylem vessels to the leaves where it reaches the photosynthetic cells. The plants also need the other raw materials such as nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and magnesium, etc., for building their body. Plants take this material from the soil. Nitrogen is essential element used by the plants to make protein and their compounds. Now let's see the site of photosynthesis in plant. Photosynthesis takes place in the leaves of the plant. For that reason, leaves are also called as kitchen of the plant because we cook food in the kitchen, right? The same way. Leaves have green pigment called chlorophyll. It helps leaves to capture the energy of the sunlight, which is then used to prepare food from carbon dioxide and water. The solar energy is captured by the leaf and stored in the plant in the form of food. So, we can say that sun is the ultimate source of energy for all living organisms. Now let us discuss the reactions involved in the process of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis reactions involve two reactants, carbon dioxide and water. These two reactants yield two products, namely oxygen and glucose. Hence, the photosynthesis reaction is considered to be an endothermic reaction. Endothermic reactions are the reactions which happens by the absorption of a light energy or a heat energy. So, in your photosynthesis equation, you can see the formula as 6CO2 plus 6H2O gives C6H12O6 plus 6O2. CO2 is carbon dioxide, H2O is water, C6H12O6 is glucose, and O2 is oxygen. So 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and 6 molecules of water reacts to give a glucose molecule with 6 molecules of oxygen. Unlike plants, certain bacteria that perform photosynthesis do not produce oxygen as a byproduct of the photosynthesis. Such bacteria are called anoxygenic photosynthetic bacteria. The bacteria that do produce oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis are called oxygenic photosynthetic bacteria. Here you can see the reaction happening in photosynthesis. There are two reactions you can see that, but actually the same reaction. The blue color and red color and green color which is marked on your left hand side is a reactant product. And the three other colors which are marked on your right hand side are called products. The left hand side it's called reactants and the right hand side it's called products. So in the reactant side you have water, carbon dioxide, the two main raw material. Water is being transported by the leaf through xylem. Carbon dioxide is enters through the leaf through stomata. And the light energy which is trapped by the chlorophyll is all called your reactants. After the reaction they give you the products. We know the two main products are glucose, which is used by the plant for their energy, and this glucose is a main product of the photosynthesis, which is stored in the leaf, and this product is being transported to all other parts of the leaf by another tissue called phloem. So in the plant there are two types of tissues. The first one is xylem, which transport water, and the phloem, which transport food to all other parts of the plant. The next gas, the product you have another thing is oxygen, that is given out by the leaves, and as a byproduct you also have water in it. So now the conclusion of this session, let's see the importance of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis provides food for plants and animals in the form of carbohydrates or sugar or glucose. And it uses oxygen as a waste product which is released into the atmosphere. Then changes the energy from the sun into a usable form for living organism. It also provides the structural components in the cell walls of a plants, which you call it as cellulose. I hope all understood clearly about modes of nutrition, process of photosynthesis clearly in this session. So now all should complete these questions in 2 or 3 sentences as your home assignment. Thank you, children.
Thank you.